I thought his ex was obsessed with him. That's what he told me. That's what he made me believe. That she was unhinged, manipulative, couldn't let go. And still had dreams with his name in them. And maybe she did. But she also had something else. A wedding registry with his last name and a ceremony planned for next month. And no, I didn't find it snooping. I wasn't lurking on her socials or cross-referencing Pinterest boards like some jealous detective girlfriend. I was Googling his hometown. Literally. We were sitting on my couch, him in sweats, me curled under a throw blanket, playing this dumb trivia app we downloaded to avoid talking about real things. Like why he still never left a toothbrush at my place. Or why, 6 months in, I hadn't met a single person from his side of the world. The app asked what state Abraham Lincoln was born in. I guessed Illinois. He laughed and said, "Wrong era, babe." So I typed Mark last name, Indiana, into Google, hoping some old-school newspaper might settle the debate. What I got instead? A Zola link. You know, one of those wedding websites people share when they're too hipster for the knot. At first, I thought it was a mistake, a cached page, someone with the same name. But then I clicked, and it loaded like fate on fiber optic Wi-Fi. There they were. Mark and Emma, smiling under a string of fairy lights. Him in a collared shirt I recognized. I'd ironed it 2 weeks ago. Her wearing white like it wasn't just for the photo. And the banner. Join us as we say I do, October 12th. October 12th. That was in 29 days. I blinked. My hands went cold. My phone felt suddenly heavier, like it carried the weight of every lie he'd ever told me, concentrated in JPEG form. I kept scrolling. There was a welcome message. "We're so thrilled to start this new chapter surrounded by love. Thank you for supporting our story." Our story. Right. The one he edited daily, apparently. Told me his ex was emotional blackmail with a flat iron. Said she faked anxiety attacks to get attention. Called her a walking TED talk on gaslighting. Meanwhile, they registered for serving platters and stemless wine glasses. I went still. You know that moment when your stomach drops, but your brain refuses to follow? That disconnect between logic and feeling, when one part of you is screaming GET out, and the other is whispering there has to be a reasonable explanation. That was me. Frozen. Holding a phone that showed me everything I needed to know. While he was literally in my kitchen, humming to himself, slicing avocados, getting ready to make us his famous tacos. He came back into the room, holding 2 plates. "Extra lime, just how you like it," he said. I looked at him. At this man who kissed me like he memorized the shape of my breath. Who knew how I took my coffee and when I needed silence. Who sent me memes at 2 a.m. that said this reminded me of you. And all I could think was, you are someone else's groom. And I'm here playing the safe distraction. A half smile broke on my face because the absurdity was just too much. "Hey Mark," I said, setting my phone down on the arm of the couch. "Random question." He raised an eyebrow. "Shoot. You ever Google yourself?" He smirked. "No, why would I?" I nodded slow. "Yeah, weird what comes up." He didn't bite. Just kept chewing his taco. So I picked my phone back up, clicked the Zola link again, and turned the screen toward him. "Then I guess I should be the one to tell you, congrats on your upcoming wedding." He blinked. Didn't say a word. I watched it register, the panic, the micro-expressions, the flicker in his left eye. Then he reached for the remote. "Babe, can we not do this tonight?" I didn't blink. "You mean your bridal shower night, or the bachelorette weekend? Just so I can pencil in which nights I'm supposed to pretend you're not legally committed to someone else." Still nothing. Silence heavy enough to bend light. He sighed finally. Said it's not what it looks like. I stood. Looked him straight in the eye. Oh, I hope it is. Because what it looks like is the most honest thing you've ever shown me. People say hindsight is 20/20, but it's not. Hindsight is 4K Ultra HD with Dolby surround sound and subtitles for every lie you ignored the first time. Looking back, I should have known something was off. Not because he was cruel, not because he disappeared for days or had lipstick on his collar. Because he was perfect, in all the ways that make you suspicious if you've ever been burned before. He was good at being available. Not emotionally, no, just physically, just enough. He texted me every morning, "Good luck today." He picked up oat milk for my coffee when I was running low. He remembered my dog's birthday. He said things like, "You're easy to be around. I never feel pressure with you. It's like you just get me." And I smiled like a fool, thinking, wow, look at me, a whole secure adult now. I mean, yeah, there were gaps. I'd never met his parents. Never saw his apartment with the lights on. He never posted me on socials, not even a boomerang of our brunch pancakes. But he had excuses for everything. My mom's super religious. I don't want the drama. I'm subletting a temporary place. It's gross. I'm embarrassed. My ex stalks my Instagram. Better to keep things low-key. Every time I asked for a little more, he'd give me just enough. A new Spotify playlist. A 3-sentence paragraph about how therapy was going. A random late-night call just to say, "I had a weird dream about you." Like clockwork. And I ate it up. Because I was tired of drama. Tired of chasing. Tired of being the only one who cared more. And Mark made me feel like the calm after the storm. Until I realized I wasn't the calm. I was the holding pattern. The test run. The thing he did to feel better about doing something worse. Let me paint the scene for you. We'd go grocery shopping on Saturdays. Trader Joe's every time. He loved the sample station, and I loved pretending we were domestic. He'd toss ingredients in the cart and say, "Imagine this is our weekly routine someday." Someday. That word. He weaponized it gently. Someday we'll get a dog. Someday I'll take you to my hometown. Someday I'll introduce you to my sister, once she's in a better headspace. Someday was his way of keeping me here without giving me anything. And I bought it, like I bought that damn soy chorizo he loved so much. Even when I asked the big questions, what are we? Are we serious? He always responded like I'd handed him a flower and asked if he liked the color. Why label it, we're so good as we are? The second we name it, we'll ruin it. I've never felt this peaceful with anyone else. Peaceful. As in, low maintenance. Predictable. Non-threatening. I thought that meant special. Now I know it meant safe to lie to. The more I think about it, the clearer it gets. There was the week he said he was going on a solo retreat. No Wi-Fi, no distractions. 3 days later, I saw a tagged photo of him at a beach bonfire, with 3 women and a man I didn't recognize. He told me it was an old college friend's surprise engagement. I believed him. I believed him when he said his ex wouldn't stop sending him angry emails. I even helped him draft a polite boundary message to send her. Turns out he sent it to me. Changed the name. Same copy-paste energy. Same manipulative rhythm he probably used for years. I was helping him manage the fallout of my own replacement. God. Even the music makes sense now. He never let me connect to the car Bluetooth. Said his phone syncs weird. But he'd play playlists called Things Like Us PT, 2, and Try Again acoustic. I thought they were for me. They weren't. They were for rehearsal. For her. For the woman he once claimed triggered his anxious attachment. The one who, now that I knew more, probably wasn't toxic. Just inconvenient. And maybe, just maybe, the only person who ever actually held him accountable. The night I found the registry, We were supposed to watch a rom-com. He joked about how he hates unrealistic wedding movies. Right, because he had his own wedding scheduled already. In exactly 4 weeks. With linen napkins, a wine-paired menu, and someone else in the white dress. He was planning a forever with her, while promising me peace. He stared at the screen like it had betrayed him. The image was still up on my phone, the Zola homepage, their names in cursive, and that stupid "Our Story" section that read like a corporate newsletter. Mark blinked twice. Then, like he'd just remembered how mouths work, said, "Okay, just let me explain." I didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. He stood there, holding his taco, staring at me like he was hoping I'd glitch out or laugh or say, "Just kidding, babe, you passed the test." But I didn't. Because this wasn't a joke. This was the moment you realize you're not even Plan B. You're Control Group B. So I said quietly, "Explain it." He took a breath like an actor prepping for his monologue. "It's not real, the wedding site. It's just something her mom put together. She pressured me. I didn't pick the date or anything." "You picked the registry items," I interrupted. He paused. "What?" "Le Creuset, champagne glasses, couples massage voucher. That's your handwriting. You made a cheese board mood board on my laptop 2 weeks ago." He opened his mouth, then closed it. I tilted my head. "You remember that, Mark, or was that part of the experiment too?" He put the taco down. Now we were getting somewhere. "You don't understand," he said, packing. "Emma and I, we've been through a lot. It's complicated." "No," I said. "What's complicated is that you told me she stalked you, that she guilt-tripped you, weaponized her feelings, and couldn't respect your space. And now you're planning a vineyard wedding with matching robe sets and a hashtag." He snapped. "She gave me an ultimatum, okay? Either commit or walk away, and I didn't want to fail again, so I told her I needed time." "Time," I repeated. "Time to what? Date me?" He swallowed hard. "Time to see if I was really ready for something serious." Something cracked in me. Not loudly. Not like glass. More like a stitch pulling loose. "You used me as a loyalty litmus test." He didn't deny it. He just said, "I didn't mean for it to go this far." There it was. The universal anthem of men who play with women like we're rubber bands, then act shocked when we snap. "You didn't mean for me to matter," I said. "You just wanted to see if you could cheat and still feel clean." He looked like a scolded child. Or a salesman caught stealing from the register. Ashamed, but mostly because he got caught. He sat down, put his head in his hands, mumbled, "You don't understand what it's like to feel split in half." "No," I said, "but I understand what it's like to love someone who's rehearsing with you for a wedding he's already planned with someone else." A silence. And not the heavy kind, the hollow kind. I stood up, grabbed my bag. Shoes. Coat. Phone. Self-respect. At the door, I turned back. "I hope you two have a beautiful wedding." And I hope every time she says, "I do." You hear me whisper. But you already did. And I left. No tears. No slamming doors. No dramatic music swell. Just footsteps. And a smile that didn't belong to him anymore. I didn't go home right away. I went to my friend Jayla's apartment. She's the kind of woman who always has something frozen, boozy, or both in the freezer. That night it was frozen margaritas and a half-baked grudge from her last situationship, so we were well matched. When I told her everything, she didn't gasp. She growled, "Oh no, we're not doing heartbreak tonight. We're doing homicide. Let's find this fool's digital trail." We opened our laptops. She poured drinks. And I Googled like a woman possessed. First, the wedding registry again. Then his name paired with keywords: engaged, bride, Emma plus Mark. That's when we found it. A cached blog entry. Why I Said Yes Again, by Emma J. Posted 11 months ago. Still indexed, still live. It started like a love story. I never thought I'd forgive him, but people grow, people change. When he came back, it wasn't with flowers, it was with honesty. He said he needed to know for sure that I was the one, that the next proposal would be his last. That's why he started therapy. That's why he asked me for space. To test himself, to test loyalty. Jayla read the paragraph out loud, slowly, then turned to me. Girl, you weren't the other woman. You were the test. I scrolled further. Emma had written about Mark like he was a reformed villain. How he cried when he admitted past cheating. How he promised never to lie again. How he said, quote, I need to know I won't sabotage this. I need to see how I behave with another woman when I'm not in love, just to be sure it's real with you. That's what he told her. That's what she agreed to. He'd basically applied for a loyalty probation period. And I was the probation officer who didn't even know she'd been deputized. Jayla whispered, this man didn't cheat. He scheduled an emotional internship. I stared at the screen. At the smiling photo she'd posted of them. Under twinkling lights, at some vineyard, arms around each other like they weren't both actively lying to someone. My blood ran cold. Because I realized he hadn't just betrayed me. He'd calculated me. Picked me for my calm, my patience, my tendency to overanalyze and underreact. I wasn't random. I was chosen. The emotionally intelligent woman. The one who wouldn't scream. Who'd probably journal her way through the betrayal. It wasn't an affair. It was a simulation. And I had just failed my own humanity exam. Because I let it happen. I let him script the story. Narrate the version of his ex he wanted me to believe. Make himself the protagonist of a heartbreak he caused. And all while he was shopping for monogrammed linens. Jayla said, so what's next? I didn't answer right away. Instead, I sat there, silent, watching the words on screen blur into shapes. Then I whispered. He wanted to see if he could be faithful. Let's test how honest he can be. In front of everyone. She leaned forward. Slow smile. You want revenge? I nodded. No. I want clarity. And I want it on cameras. There's a moment between betrayal and revenge where your heart splits in two. One half is rage. The other, embarrassment. It's not about what he did anymore. It's about what I let him do. How many times I looked away. Laughed off red flags. Told myself I was just being too sensitive. I sat in Jayla's living room in yesterday's clothes, watching her scroll through TikTok while I stared at my hands like they belonged to someone dumber. Someone who once said out loud, he's different with me. He's just scared of love. His ex really messed him up. God. I was the supporting actress in a film where I didn't even know the genre. He'd cast me as the emotionally mature one. The peaceful alternative. The contrast to the woman he once demonized, the woman he was literally planning to marry. I was Plan B. I was Exhibit A. In the case of, can Mark be faithful again? And like a good witness, I testified with my patience. But now I was done testifying. I was ready to prosecute. That night, I lay on Jayla's couch, staring at the ceiling, listing every time he'd used his past as a weapon. You're so grounded, it's healing just being near you. I love that you don't pressure me. You're like a reset button. I thought they were compliments. They were disclaimers. He wasn't dating me. He was running diagnostics. And now that he'd decided his system was stable, he was preparing for launch with her. Jayla walked in holding 2 mugs. One had tea. The other had vodka. She handed me both. I asked, What would you do if someone used you as a human experiment? She shrugged. I'd leak the lab results. A silence. Then it hit me. A spark. A thought so ridiculous and perfect it made me sit upright. I grabbed my phone, opened my calendar, scanned to the date of their rehearsal dinner, which, according to the registry, was the Friday before the wedding. What are you doing next Friday at 7 p.m.? I asked. Jayla blinked, hopefully helping you put sugar in his gas tank. Why? I smiled. Because I'm throwing a bridal shower. As she stared. I'm sorry, you're what? Just trust me. You're throwing a bridal shower for the woman whose fiancé was testing loyalty on you like a stress ball. I nodded. A Zoom bridal shower. With everyone invited. Now she smiled. A slow, dangerous grin. Okay, I'm listening. We spent the next 2 hours making a list. His mom. Her bridesmaids. The wedding planner, who had her email on their Zola page. His cousin Jess, who once commented OTP on one of their photos. The officiant. The photographer. And most importantly, Emma. I made a burner email account. Typed. Subject, surprise bridal shower for Emma, hosted by my name. Inside the message. A sweet graphic, a short message, and a Zoom link. All scheduled to go out the day before. Jayla leaned over my shoulder and said, You know this is nuclear, right? I nodded. Good. I'm done being soft science. Friday night, 6:57 p.m. I sat at Jayla's kitchen island with my laptop open, candles lit, and wine in hand like I was about to lead a group meditation instead of a controlled explosion. The fake bridal shower Zoom was scheduled for 7:00. We sent the invites from the burner account at 9 a.m. sharp, and by 4 p.m., we'd seen several of them open, including Emma. 7:02 p.m. I clicked Start Meeting. Camera on, mic muted, smile rehearsed. One by one, they joined. His cousin Jess. 2 women with flower crowns who looked like bridesmaids. One older woman who had to be his mother, same jawline. A man I assumed was the officiant. Then came Emma. Her camera was on. She looked a little confused, a little flushed, like someone had said surprise, and she didn't quite know if she liked it. Hi, everyone, she said into the void, waving nervously. This is sweet, totally unexpected. I waited. Jayla nudged me. Then he joined. Mark. Video off. Just a name on a black square, Mark J. The chat popped off. Wait, is this from your maid of honor? I thought the shower was Sunday. I love this energy, but also what is happening lol. Is this a new game? I turned on my mic, cleared my throat, and said, Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight's little celebration. I know this probably isn't what you were expecting, but since we're all here, let's talk about love, and lies, and what it means to commit. Mark unmuted. What the hell are you doing? I smiled. Telling the truth, something you apparently forgot how to do. Emma's face changed. She leaned in. Wait, who are you? I clicked share screen. Slide 1. A picture of Mark and me on my couch, time-stamped 2 weeks ago, his head on my shoulder, a pizza box in the background, my dog asleep in his lap. Gasps. Someone said, Oh my God. Slide 2. A screenshot of a text he sent me. She's emotionally unstable. You're the only peace I've had in years. Slide 3. A message from his laptop calendar. Rehearsal dinner, 7 p.m. Zoom with officiant. I looked at Emma. You weren't the only one he rehearsed with. A silence. Tense, raw. Then Mark finally spoke. This is out of control. You're ruining everything. I raised an eyebrow. No, Mark, I'm revealing everything. You ruined it the minute you decided to use a human being as a diagnostic tool. He said nothing, but his square went black, then disappeared. He'd left the meeting. Emma stayed. She was frozen, hand over her mouth. Then she turned her camera off too. One by one, others logged off. Except Jess. She said, "Wow." I said, "Yeah." Jess nodded. Well, I hated the guys anyway. She left. And I was alone in the Zoom. Just me. The host. The cleanup crew. I closed my laptop, sat in silence, and laughed. Not because it was funny, but because somehow I finally felt free. The Zoom was over. The emails stopped. The wine was gone. But the quiet was the loudest it had ever been. You'd think I'd feel victorious, that I'd be standing on some metaphorical cliff, cape flying in the wind, having destroyed a liar with the power of screenshots and Google Calendar receipts. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt clean, like I'd finally scrubbed someone else's projection off my skin. Because that's what he did, you know. He projected his confusion, his shame, his cowardice, and dressed it up like compliments. You're so grounded. I feel safe with you. You make me want to be better. But what he really meant was, you're easy to lie to. You won't explode. You won't ruin my image. And I didn't. Until I did. Until I realized that being emotionally safe doesn't mean emotionally disposable. After everything, I went home. Took a shower that lasted an hour. Threw out the hoodie he left in my closet. Deleted his playlists. But I didn't delete the screenshots. I kept them. Not for revenge. For remembrance. Because women like me, women who always try to be the chill one, the peacemaker, the therapy in human form, we get told that our pain is a footnote. That we're too smart to fall apart. Too strong to be angry. But let me tell you something. Even strong women deserve to scream. Even soft women get to strike back. And even quiet girls know how to destroy a man's wedding with one shared screen. Emma never messaged me. And I didn't expect her to. Her silence wasn't cowardice. It was grief. And I respected that. Because I know what it's like to grieve the idea of someone. The version of a person you built in your head. But here, the truth. Mark didn't just betray us. He engineered us. Built two realities. Ran a simulation. Treated love like it was a lab experiment, with me as the variable and her as the goal. And now he gets neither. I started writing again. Little things. Nothing polished. But real. A blog, anonymous, where I post stories from women who were tested, measured, and found too much or not enough by men who never deserved them in the first place. One post went semi-viral. He said I was a safe place, but I was just a mirror he didn't want to look into. I got hundreds of DMs. Not just women. Men too. People who'd been the placeholder. The practice round. The temporary calm before someone else's forever. And you know what they all had in common? They weren't broken. They were angry. And that's good. Anger is honest. Anger is movement. Anger is the first step to getting out of someone's performance and back into your own life. As for Mark, he never reached out. I heard through the grapevine that the wedding was postponed indefinitely. That he went off the grid. Whatever that means. Good for him. Let him wander. Let him find himself in some cabin with no Wi-Fi and too much kale. I don't need closure. Because I already got the only thing that matters. Clarity. Looking back now, I don't regret falling for him. I regret silencing myself to keep his version of me alive. But that version is gone. And what's left? is a woman with boundaries sharper than bridal diamonds, and a story worth telling. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.